Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program where anything is up for discussion. You got me, Jeff, and if you're joining us for the first time, my co-host is a former international television star. You may know her from Ghost Hunters International, or also a local cupcake goddess. You may know her from Shancakes. Hey, Shannon, what's going on, kiddo?
It's a long intro.
It is. You're worthy of that intro.
You're forgetting about Paranormal State.
Paranormal State.
Who my co-host was on as well.
Okay.
A&E channel.
Guilty as charged. Okay. All right. And an author.
Autograph session. Autograph session will be later on.
Forget about being an author.
And, I'm a published author, actually.
Mom to a couple of
Not
puppies.
Not self-published. I have a publisher.
You have a publisher. Very cool.
I do a lot of things. What do you do, Jeff?
I want to give you the kudos here because you are the Shannon Shancakes, of course, and you just came from a very big event at your place. And I think it's absolutely awesome what you do with these kids. And for those of you that don't know, Shannon here is located in Leominster, right on Central Street. And tell us a little bit about Diamond is the Sky in the event that you do.
Well, we just did a class tonight with a bunch of kids from Diamond is the Sky. Diamond is the Sky is a nonprofit organization that specializes in finding activities for autistic children to do.
That's awesome.
It's our second year working with them, and part of our expansion over at Shancakes was in part due to the organization bringing so many children to them. So I do have to say a special thank you to those guys that might be watching. We really enjoy spending time with the kids. We see the same faces over and over, and nothing beats seeing them smile and learning and being proud of something that they do with their own hands.
Oh, that's awesome. And we also want to give a huge shout out to the K-Zone, WPKZ, 105.3 FM in Fitchburg, who had you in as their guest this week.
Yeah, that was a nice
Talking
show.
About Shancakes and everything going on
nice
there.
Show yesterday. Monday.
Jeez. And it was, that was yesterday, so today's Tuesday, right? So talk to us a little bit about the expansion. You've doubled in size for not only the reason you mentioned above, as far as, getting together with the kids and having all that going on, but you also double in size with other things, much like if you guys have ever seen one of these frozen yogurt bars where you get to go in and you froyo it all up and then you put on your own toppings and stuff. Shannon, you have come up with the absolute most genius creativity thing you can possibly imagine when it comes to cupcakes.
Cupcake bar, guys. Cupcake bar. So we have 16 different toppings, fillings. We have 2 different sauces. We have cherries. The sky's the limit, guys. Probably thousands and thousands of different combinations. I could be one of those people that says 465,000 combinations cupcakes that you can do.
There probably is.
One flat rate price. You don't have to worry about weighing. You don't have to worry about going over a budget. You know exactly what you're going to spend. You can pick from the vanilla and chocolate selections that we have, or you can custom order your dozen, and we will make them for you by the time you get there. So,
all right. Well, wait a second. You don't have to weigh these things because that's usually where I usually get pretty embarrassed when we get up to the scale, and Shannon and I are together, and she weighs hers, and it's like 450, and then you get to mine, it's like 950.
Yep.
How do you do that? I mean, I'm embarrassed. I'm glad you don't have to weigh stuff because then I can go there without embarrassment. I can put what I want in a damn cupcake and I'll be all set.
Good time with the kids. You need to have some more kids, Jeff, so you can enjoy the experience.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's the only time you can get away with it.
So how is the expansion going, especially now with the upcoming holidays? Pies are a big thing. People are already ordering pies from you, right?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I've lost track of pies. Somebody asked me today how many pies that we've...
You did over 100 last year.
We did close to probably 250 last year, Jeff.
Wow, well, that's well over 100 for those who are counting. Yeah.
I mean, we're not like in the pie business. We're not Joyce's
you
Pies.
This time of year.
We don't put out thousands of pies, but we do enough to keep us busy. It's many days of just straight baking, so I can't complain. And every year it just gets busier and busier. So.
And I will say that Joyce's does a really nice job on pies, and you guys kind of refer back and forth. We'll call her the other cool bakery in town. You guys work well together, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she sent me some customers today. I mean, Joyce's Pies, they're already pretty much sold out, guys.
Wow.
Already, just a week before Thanksgiving, less than a week before. I mean, more than a week before Thanksgiving. Unbelievable.
That's
so
awesome.
Good for them.
That's awesome.
And they're awesome over there. And we've got customers now coming to us for pies. Unbelievable. So we make a killer pie. They're unbelievable. They're baked fresh at Shancakes, every single one of them. Of course, my chocolate cream is one of the most popular.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Just Talk to me about the pecan.
Yeah,
Just
the
let me-
chocolate.
Let me think about the chocolate cream
is the
and
most popular.
Talk to me about the pecan as I close my eyes.
Pecan
Just
pie is
tell me about
awesome.
the
I like
pecan.
making those.
Just describe the pecan so I can close. my eyes
Jack
and
Daniel's
think.
bourbon, lots of corn syrup, pecans, butter.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much it. Some crust.
Lots of butter, lots of sugar.
Oh
yeah,
God.
it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
they're a good time. You just
yeah.
boil it down, you pour it in, you float the pecans on the top. Very easy to make.
Change your life.
Yeah,
Absolutely
pretty
change
much.
your life. And you're doing lunches now. You got great paninis.
Yes.
I'll tell you. If you guys like paninis, man, you guys got to join me for lunch sometime down there because the paninis are huge. They're full of
Yes, they
stuff.
are.
And you know when you look on television, Shan, you and I bust balls all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You look on television, you see the sandwich. It's this freaking big and it's got everything in it. You can see all the ingredients and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then you go there. And it ends up being like that big, and it looks like a piece of cardboard. No,
Yep.
no, not where you are. Your sandwiches actually look the part, kid.
Yeah, they do. They do. Today we had barbecue pulled pork, and we also had mozzarella cheese and sausage.
Wow, mozzarella.
sold a few of
What kind
them.
of sausage? What kind of sausage? did you
Just
have?
just sausage. We didn't do any spicy ones or mild. Just a mild
Okay.
sausage.
All right. Just a
Yeah.
mild sausage. Okay.
Just a mild sausage.
We are well into the holidays, as you know, and everybody, of course, is forgetting about Thanksgiving, except when they're ordering their pie. But now, I will admit that we have our Christmas tree up.
We do.
We are decorated for
We're
Christmas.
not bragging about it on Facebook, though.
We're decorated for Christmas. We're now one of those people. And I mean, have we really determined when it's cool to put up the Christmas tree? Have we is this officially
Everybody's
cool
in
now?
a race this year to get their trees up as fast as possible.
What is-
They're
what
all
is up
over,
with that?
They're all over Facebook.
But what is up with that? I mean, it used to be like you enjoyed the Thanksgiving holiday, and there was, whatever the shopping thing was the day after Thanksgiving, and then you get into Christmas. It was like everybody held off, and then boom, the day after Christmas, everybody exploded with shopping.
People don't have
sales and
time
stuff.
anymore. They just don't. They don't have time anymore. We don't have time the day after Thanksgiving to put up our tree, so we have to do it earlier,
Well, it's more than that. I think it has to do a lot with, the stores that are all competing. Everybody's like, oh, well, okay, we'll just kind of slide a little bit forward.
Yeah.
We'll just come back just a little bit, and then all of a sudden, well, we're just going to go before Thanksgiving. We're gonna rogue this whole thing out. We're just going to now everybody's doing it.
It's
There's no more Thanksgiving
unbelievable.
as a result. There's no more
Unbelievable.
Thanksgiving. And I will say, I've got Jack Selly's back on this. Shan, you have been part of Leominster High School. Of course, you're an alumni and a graduate there.
Yep.
And you're well aware of the oldest rivalry in high school football, which is, of course, Leominster-Fitchburg. You're well aware of that,
Oh, yeah.
of course. Well, let me tell you something. The MIAA, who is the governing body for high school sports in Massachusetts, is pretty much ruining that for everybody.
What's
and,
going on?
And Jack actually predicts that in just a couple of few years, that the Thanksgiving Day game that we have all come to know and love as a huge tradition will be extinct. Can you believe that?
Why?
Well, because
Wait, is this in the favor of the kids, or now is just
no.
getting
What's
greedy?
happening is that the governing body of Massachusetts football is structuring the playoffs to where the Thanksgiving game is absolutely meaningless. In other words, the team has already decided whether they're going to the playoffs or not. Everything is pretty much decided in the standings. The seedings are picked, and the Thanksgiving game, Shannon, has become more of an exhibition.
Unbelievable.
And unfortunately, as we have seen now, not only for, I think, last year's game, but also the Marlboro game that Leominster just played, which was a consolation game, the kids just aren't into it. I mean, it's tough to get up for a game that doesn't mean anything, and it shows on the football field. It's not good football anymore, and I think that's going to stop people from coming out and really being pumped about it because
You think?
there's nothing left to
It's-
play for.
Uh,
I mean, if you're like a senior and you should be wanting to play your last game with a lot of passion, to me, Jack said it best. I would sit these prima donnas that think they're all that and they just have to show up. But let's put the guys in that actually have heart into this game and want to play hard. That maybe have been sitting on the bench all year
Yeah.
that want to get that chance because what people want to see when they go to a football game, and I don't care if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, playoffs, regular season, they want to see their team dig in and they want to see them play hard. And unfortunately, when these games come up like this, Shannon, and it's more of a formality and an exhibition than anything else, you don't see the passion. You don't see the teams that are just pushing with everything they have to win the game. And I think it's going to dilute the game. And unfortunately, I have to agree with Jack. It may make the game extinct after a while.
Do you know for a fact if there's a decrease in sales, or if this
Well,
is just an observation?
It's not only an observation, but I think you're going to find that there's now a decrease in sales for the game and a decrease of viewership. And I think if you give this 3 years, we'll have another discussion about it. But because the game is now meaningless, because it doesn't mean anything in the standings or who's going to the playoffs, it's just kind of an exhibition game. It's going to be kind of one of those who cares, one of those things. And it's unfortunate because that was one of the oldest, if not the oldest, rivalry in high school sports in the country.
Well, that is true. I mean, I just don't believe that there's going to be a shortage in ticket sales, though. I don't. It is probably one of the biggest attendance games of the year. You know?
All right.
I mean, everybody goes, it's such a tradition. I mean, how many people do we know personally that need to change times for Thanksgiving dinner because they're kids or they're going to a game?
Well, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people's lives, revolve around that. And not only, the thing, too, is that the MIAA is also making it very difficult for local broadcast companies like Leominster.tv and FATV to broadcast the game live because they feel that they want the ticket sales, and they put us on what's called a time delay, a delay for taping delay. So you can't show the game live, but you can show it a few hours later.
Right.
And that kind of sucks
That's
because
stupid.
people want to hear it. People want to see it as it's happening,
It's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Well, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, we want to welcome you, and we want to welcome everybody watching on Leominster.tv, on Comcast and Verizon. You can check your local listings for that, as well as streaming worldwide at UpForDiscussionLive.com and on the mothership, myptvonline.com. We want to remind you that this show is brought to you in part by our friends over at Leominster Storage Solutions. You can find out more about them and call them today at 978-466-8887 or visit them online at LeominsterStorageSolutions.com. And Shannon, I will tell you that they have expanded right across the street from you, I should say adjacent to you on the same side of the street.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty cool because people around here in New England, if you're watching in Leominster, we've got our toys. You've got your boats, you've got your ski-doos, you've got your bikes that you want to put away for the winter. And up until now, they have not been able to take any of those cars or bikes or boats or things that you want to store.
Not big enough.
Because, well, not only not big enough, Shannon, but because they've been located in a building with wooden floors that couldn't support the weight. Well, now they have built a full facility right next to you over at Shancakes, and they now can accept all kinds of things because they have that pad, and you can put all the weight in there you want. So if you have your winter toys that you want to put away, you may want to find out more and give our friends over there at Leominster Storage Solutions a call.
Good guys over there. And everybody knows them, too.
Oh,
everybody.
Absolutely. And, of course, we want to remind you that our show is also brought to you by Shancakes. You can find out more about Shancakes by visiting them at 368 Central Street or calling them at 978-840-4343 or online at shancakes.com. And, of course, our friends never start the morning without me and our Sasquatch coffee. I love Sasquatch coffee.
No, you do.
To find out more about them, you can visit them at squatchcoffee.com. And Shannon, you and I just visited this place, finest place in the world, next to Boston. You don't have to go to Boston anymore if you're from North Central Massachusetts. Just find out more about Mariano's Ristorante. Absolutely fabulous Italian food. I love the sauce. Love the entrees there. It's quiet. It's very comfortable, and the service is fantastic. Pam over there and the crew do a fantastic job. You can find out more about them by visiting them at marianositalian.com. And Shannon, we have a very, very busy show coming up tonight, along with you and the Who Does That. But I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and of course, that's sports. I know this is not really your thing when it comes to sports, but I know you can identify with this, and I'll tell you why. We're going to talk about cocky chicks. Cocky chicks that have, they think they're all that, and they thrust their chest out, and we're talking about somebody, Shan, that was once deemed unstoppable, unbreakable by Sports Illustrated, who, of course, is one of the most premier magazines in the world when it comes to sports. And, of course, we're talking about Ronda Rousey. And she was actually taken to the hospital following her loss to Holly Holm at the UFC 193. According to Dana White, the UFC president spoke with Fox Sports shortly after Holm's upset of Rousey and explained that the now former champion had to be stitched up after getting knocked out in Australia.
Wow.
She ended up going to the hospital. Her lip was split, and they were going to have to sew her lip and put some stitches in it. She was outworked in the entire bout, typically dominant against the UFC female. Division Rousey looked overmatched when home a former professional boxing champion picked her apart for the entire 2-round fight. She was knocked out in the second round. We're going to take a good look at the kick right here. And there was something up on Facebook that was pretty funny. It was that Ronda Rousey said, yeah, Giants fans don't feel bad. I also lost by a kick. And there it was right there. She was knocked the F out,
wow.
which was, and you know, Shannon, what's really funny, we'll get to the cockiest part of this thing. She had actually gone online. She was tweeting about how badass she was and how she was going to enjoy kicking this girl's ass. Yeah. And she was getting personal about her boyfriend and getting all kinds of stuff about her. And Shannon, this wasn't even close. She got her ass ripped. This was not even close. Okay, you're not going to talk about it.
I thought you were playing something.
No, I'm trying to talk to you about the fight. And
okay. I didn't see the fight.
Well, you didn't see the fight, but you can see the kick. Can you see the kick?
I saw the kick like 80 times.
All right. Well, I'm trying to talk to you about, like, chicks fighting. I know you're a girl. I know you don't condone girl fighting. But how do you feel about this compared to, like, boxing?
I hate it. I hate all fighting. I don't like to watch, and I told 2 of my customers today, I don't like to watch anybody hurting each other. And it's not deliberate hurting each other. I just don't like physical, like, maiming of bodies. It's not palatable to me.
So you've never been into boxing. You've never been into fighting of any kind.
No.
So
it's not entertainment to me.
So you don't consider this a sport?
No, I didn't go to gladiator fights back in the Roman days. I mean, I wasn't there. So I just don't like any kind of sports where you have physical contact with the other. It's just, to me, it's just brutal. I don't like to see teeth flying and blood and sweat and panting, and it's not fun to me. Well, it's not for everybody.
How do you feel about the Davy and Goliath story, where the underdog comes out and kicks the crap?
Oh, you know about Bible study stuff.
Story.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm all for the underdog. I mean, geez, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, whoever deserved to win won. But, I mean, I don't like, the fact that she's up there doing, a peacock, like, oh, I'm going to win, I'm going to kick this girl's ass. But you were wrong. Well,
Sports Illustrated kind of pumped that up. Ronda Rousey is the world's most dominant athlete. Unbreakable is how she was once described.
Thick girl.
And now, just a couple of weeks later, she's not only breakable, but stitchable and bleedable and capable and gauzeable and all that stuff. So, yeah, that was a huge surprise, and everybody's talking about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just hard to watch, and a lot of it's just ego, and it's just silly. Again, the whole peacocking, oh, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, they can't.
Yeah, until you take a foot to the face.
Just stupid.
All right, we want to remind you guys to follow us on Twitter. You can find me at Jeffrey L. Sylvia. You can find Shannon at Shannon Sylvia, and you can find us at Up for Discussion. Now stick around, because coming up, we have Shannon with the now famous in over 88 countries. As she can only ask, who does that? Stick around. On the other side, we'll be right back.
Up for Discussion with Jeff and Shannon Sylvia. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Up for Discussion Live is brought to you in part by Lemonster Storage Solutions, Sasquatch Coffee, Mariano's Restaurante.
It's okay to cheat on your same old network with us. We won't tell.
And now, back to Up for Discussion, right here on Para-Rock TV.
Oh yeah, when you hear that music, it can only mean one thing. It's that segment of the program when Shannon Sylvia asks, who does that? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shannon Sylvia.
All right, guys. So the Who Does That is everybody's favorite part of the show. If you're new and you don't know the Who Does That portion of the show, I pretty much scour the internet for the most interesting yet true stories ever found by a human being to bring you these fun, interesting, very true stories of stupid things that stupid people do every week. This one hails from Los Angeles. The Los Angeles County authorities are investigating into the theft of a human leg stolen from a van that was carrying organ and tissue donation.
Oh, my God.
Really? So how does a human leg that was to be donated as human tissue be stolen?
Was it like the lamp on Christmas Story?
You're asking the wrong person. So... It's gross. Yeah,
No,
you think
it
it was all stiff like the lamp?
Yeah.
Los Angeles Times reports that the limb was stolen early on a Monday while staffers for the nonprofit and at One Legacy stopped for a bite at a downtown restaurant. Perhaps they shouldn't have done that.
Legacy? Is that a
Apparently,
coincidence?
they don't lock the vehicle. When they returned, the cooler containing the wrapped and chilled leg was gone. How big was this cooler?
Wrapped and chilled.
How big was this cooler?
It's kind of like the equivalent of Waffle House. Covered, smothered.
I mean, it
in
must
chunk
be one of
together.
those really big beer coolers because a
chilled.
leg is pretty long. I mean, depending, even if it's a male leg,
Oh,
it could
well,
be even longer.
They make special coolers for that. Of course they do. They
You
have
just
to.
fold the leg up and put it in there.
No, they don't fold the leg up.
Coroner Mark Farhardo said in a letter to county supervisors that it's likely the thief didn't know what was inside the cooler when they took it. So just
They
randomly
took it.
walk up to a tissue donor van
This
and
is a
take a
huge
cooler.
cooler. It's gonna have lots of beer in it. Oh my God.
Was reported to police. They did obtain a DNA sample from the donor to identify any limb that might be recovered. No idea how that happened. Family members of the late donor have been notified that the leg was stolen. Confidentiality laws prevent officials from releasing any information about the donor's identity. The donor
Who does
doesn't need
that?
the leg at that point. So, you know what? Honestly, like if I found out that my dad passed and someone stole his leg, I don't think I would think too much about it.
Wait a second. What if there's somebody waiting for the leg? I mean, they're transporting it for a reason.
It makes you
for
wonder
God's
what they were
sakes,
going to do with that
right?
leg. It just makes you wonder.
Well, it's for a transplant. I'm sure somebody's waiting for
Like-
a leg. Look at what we just
No,
watched
no.
today.
It doesn't work that way. People
We-
don't stop for lunch if someone's waiting for that limb.
We just watched today
No.
somebody getting a face transplant, for God's sake.
We didn't watch it.
Tell me
We
that,
just saw news about it.
you can't tell me that somebody is waiting for a leg transplant.
You think that the organization, the nonprofit's going to be stopping for lunch if somebody's waiting on that limb for a transplant?
Shame on them.
We're just going to go to the bean for a little while. Dude,
Who does that?
what do you feel like, bean sprouts or tofu Eddie?
Nah, man, give me the latte.
Give me lean.
Give me lean and latte.
Don't worry about the leg. It's chilling.
It's chilling in
chill.
a big cooler. All right. what else?
Next story hails from Concord, Massachusetts. Next town over. How
Not
cool
Canadian.
is that?
Not Canadian.
Great town. Getting a ticket from police in one Massachusetts town isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I have my comments. I'll wait to the end. But Concord's police department says it plans to issue up to 200 citations for good behavior. That includes such things as wearing your bicycle helmet, which is the law anyway,
Of course.
or a seatbelt, which is the law anyway, yielding to pedestrians at a crosswalk, which is the law, or looking both ways before crossing a street, which is just a well-known thing.
Okay.
Police Chief Joseph O'Connor says it's a lighthearted way to connect positively with the community. I wonder why, Jeff. I wonder why all of a sudden the policemen are everywhere across the United States are just doing nice things for civilians.
Imagine that.
Nice things.
Nice thing.
Yeah, we heard a couple weeks ago in the news there was a policeman who actually gave a woman flowers, sent her flowers because she was rushing to a hospice to go visit. She just found out that her mother had to be transferred to a hospice.
Really?
He pulled her over for speeding. She was very upset. He sent her flowers with a nice note inside.
That's
I wonder
nice.
why the policemen are doing all these things.
Why do you think they would do that?
Gosh, it's so nice to see them and like so happy and friendly lately.
Happy and friendly and
Happy and
Monica
friendly
Bellinger,
and
right?
protecting and serving.
Yeah, of course.
Who does that?
Instead of a fine or a court appearance, citations that are being issued for doing what you're supposed to be doing anyway can be redeemed for 2 scoops of ice cream at Reasons to Be Cheerful, a local dessert cafe.
Who does that?
PR. The owner of the restaurant, Wade Rubenstein, agreed to donate the ice cream. PR.
As long as it's not Cold Stones, that would be like.
Oh, God. You couldn't pay me enough to stand there and watch their spiel for 20
I'd be
minutes.
so pissed. That would be unusual punishment.
La, la, la,
Oh,
la,
my God.
La, we're dancing. We're not making your ice cream. We're just fooling around because this is fun and corporate makes us do it.
It's like Disneyland for ice cream. Too much Disney, not enough ice cream.
Yeah, Old Hip's right in the chat. He says, last year cops were pulling folks over, giving them Christmas gifts,
That's right.
and then beating them if they were black.
Oh, shit. Hip actually did a story about
I know.
cops that were giving away presents. He had the guy that was on nationally. Remember that?
I
We'll go
know.
very soon.
I know.
All right. What else you got?
All right, one more story. Burlington, Vermont. We've been there, Jeff.
We
couple
have.
times.
We have.
A chef at a Vermont hotel said a special Wild About Vermont dinner next month will serve up black bear, beaver, muskrat, and only roadkill.
Oh.
Roadkill.
Wow. Okay.
Is that legal?
I don't know. It depends what kind of roadkill it is, I guess. Go
Chef
on.
Doug Payne of the Hotel Vermont said the number 7 meal will feature meat donated by Vermont hunters and fishermen, as well as roadkill gathered by the Vermont Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Okay.
So that makes you wonder. The idea is to get people connected to the local food sources, but also showcase traditions of Vermont. This is a tradition, apparently. Obviously, that's
Really?
why it made the news. Proceeds from the $75 dinner will be donated towards the conservation efforts of Lake Champlain International and the Vermont Department of Fish and Wildlife. Unusual animals destined for the dinner table include black bear, moose, beaver, and muskrat.
Oh, muskrat.
And
Really?
they're also going to donate 3 animals killed on state's roads.
Really?
Oh, I can't wait to dig into a shard of glass from Auntie Beatrice's windshield as they smashed into that deer.
Oh, man.
Crunch.
Who does
What was
that?
This is the taste of a deer dying in someone's grill. So you can choose what you want to eat. We're not going to force anyone to eat muskrat if they don't feel like it.
They're not gonna force
But it will be
anybody.
offered to everyone. I'm sure 90% of the Vermonters haven't tried beaver, but I'm sure they would like it if they did. So 70% of Vermonters have not tried beaver.
You said beaver. That's because they're. Never mind.
Who does that?
All right. Now, you're telling me now, just confirming here, this is the number 7? Is that what they're calling this? The number 7?
Yeah, what's the punchline?
Well, it's it's not quite the number 9 that D'Angelo's has, right? It's probably not like probably not as clean as the number 9.
I can't believe they got to serve up roadkill. That's
can't believe
absolutely
they did. How they
disgusting.
do
All right,
that?
you guys, you already did all the exotic other ones, but really, roadkill? Why? Just so you can say you're serving up roadkill? There's got to be some kind of Board of Health regulations against that.
Oh, yeah, there
I mean,
has
that
to.
has had contact with someone's car. There's chemicals, there's metals, there's minerals, there's tires, there's... Oh. And who knows what time that happened?
It's gross.
Oh, come on.
It's gross. It's gross.
I'm sorry, but we're not going to go there.
All right, where we are going to go is we're going to go to the phones. You can call in at 323-902-6661 if you want to be part of the show and have something to say here. We're going to go to a call right now, the 978 area. You're on with Jeff and Shannon. What do you have? Hello, 978.
You're on.
Hello.
Hello. What do you got?
Hello. How you doing, Shannon and Jeff?
Is this Eric?
This is Eric.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm loving the show, guys.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks for calling. What do you got?
Well, my question is actually from last week, since I wasn't able to get in touch with you guys through the radio, and we were talking about doppelgangers. And as an investigator, you hear it a lot, where a lot of people say, well, if somebody sees their doppelganger, supposedly they're supposed to die if they meet their other self. And
Really?
I wanted to get what your thoughts were on that, because it's a whole big spiel going on in the paranormal field, and I wanted to see what you guys thought about that whole thing.
That sounds like a Final Destination type of movie sequel.
You first, Shannon.
So, Eric, you're saying that people, if they meet their doppelganger, they die.
That's it. It's like looking in the mirror.
Just like if you dream that you're dying, you die the second you die. Oh, come on. Is there any proof to that,
if
Eric?
you die in your dreams,
It's
you
No,
die for real.
there's absolutely not. But
Yeah, so my opinion on that is just garbage because if there was any truth to that whatsoever, it'd be all over 2020 and John Quinones would be coming around the corner and there would be massive articles and news stories about this. And we just we just did, of course, the doppelganger show. The guy met his
Yeah, on the
match on the
airplane.
plane sitting next to him. They had beers after
They had
that at the
beers,
same
right?
hotel, and
Okay.
guess what? They're fine.
They're fine. Right? They landed together.
Yeah.
There wasn't a fiery crash.
I don't think there's any documentation that could go back any amount of years that says that if you meet someone that looks like you're going to die.
There you go.
What would the
All
cause of death be? Just shock? I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I would be kind of excited,
You just
but
implode.
I wouldn't keel over from a heart attack and be like, oh my God, isn't this Shannon? Oh. So I think that's just kind of horseshitty.
All right, I guess if we're gonna go like
That's funny.
Mythbusters, we're gonna go myth busted on that one. How's that, Shan?
Yeah,
All right.
that one's
All
kind
right,
of
Eric, you
busted.
good with that? Myth busted.
yeah, I'm all over that myth busting.
All right. Thanks so much for calling in and joining us. We do appreciate you watching.
Anytime.
Good question.
All right. All right. If you guys want to call in, you can call into us at 323-902-6661. And we do have somebody that does that on an absolutely regular basis. Shannon, it's time to find out what our friend JT thinks.
Hello, Jeff and Shannon. JT from L.A. That's right, Shannon, the Leominster area. Big upset in the ultimate fighting world. Wicked Ronda Rousey got knocked out in the second round defending her title. I liked Ronda Rousey. I've seen her in a few movies. She was in Expendables with Sylvester Stallone. I don't know. There's something about a woman who's not only a knockout, but can also knock you out.
And now get knocked
I know.
out.
I'm attracted to that kind of girl, I guess.
Oh, God.
Closest I ever came to it was I used to go out with a girl that used to whip me, beat me, and make me write bad checks. But I have to say, I loved it immensely.
Jesus.
Oh, well, Jeff and Shannon, bye-bye for now.
Wow. Learn something new every day about
Whipped
this man.
me, beat me, and made me write bad checks. That's his kind of woman, Shan.
And that's why he's single.
Yeah, that's right. only in
Or
L.A.
JT. So JT likes the athletic, beat you up kind of girls.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Can
I
get-
don't know any JT. I'm
Knock
sorry.
you
I
out.
can't. I can set you up with nada.
Now, do you remember, like, early on, I think it was Shantown, like maybe one of the first shows we ever did many, many, many years ago. We had a little dating service type thing. You remember when we were doing the Shantown hookups?
Yeah, we did the
Remember that?
Shantown singles.
The Shantown singles.
Oh my
We did the
God!
hookups.
Yeah, I
Remember that?
remember we helped out Nick and all kinds of people on that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They're
We should
all-
do the up for discussion singles ads. You know, like throw it out there. We'll try to
Sure,
find.
sure.
We'll put it out there. Well, if you're single and you're listening now and you want us to do a video ad for you on the show, we want to learn all about you.
How cool
And
would that
we'll
be,
we'll try to
right?
hook you up.
Right.
We'll air it here on the show, of course, with your permission. Your favorite photo, no Photoshop.
No, and everybody we have hooked up is now still together, married, many children, vacationing the world, and has probably won the lottery. Right, Shan? That's all good. Match.com has got nothing on us. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's so good to be married. Thank God. We don't have to deal with this crap.
I hear
No
the
way.
tales of woe of our friends on Facebook
Yep.
and around the world and the singles that are out there and they're struggling and they're dealing with the crap that goes on and trying to like find a mate or somebody to hang with and stuff like that. I think it's cool. I think it's cool being married in this day and age. Nothing wrong with
It's
that.
very convenient. I mean, you don't have to do this dating stuff anymore. I don't know what I'd do.
You're kind of cute too. I'm still
Kinda cute?
Yeah, I'm still
Just
I'm still
a little bit cute.
Kind of still real attracted. Pretty good. After what, 12
Trial
years?
basis?
Yeah,
You're still in a trial
we
basis?
are. After 12 years, I still remind you we're still on a trial basis. We're working a few things out, but I think we're going to be okay. I think we'll be all right.
We'll talk about that
We're all
flannel
right?
shirt.
You don't like my shirt? What's wrong? You don't like my? You always tell
I
me.
do.
To wear a
You know
shirt
what?
like that.
I think you just should wear it with a ball cap, though.
I put the ball cap on, but I couldn't see my eyes anymore, so I had to ditch the ball cap.
Yeah. I
I'll
don't
wear a
see too
small
many
one.
ball guys wearing a flannel shirt. Usually, guys like with the winter gear just always have a hat on with the shirt. So I just
What are you trying to
associate it.
say?
Just saying. I don't know. Where
All right.
at?
Well, with that New England accent, you have to be careful when you talk about somebody that has a hat on. You have to be very careful.
Hat on.
Because people around the country could take that for something much different, right? All right, it is the holidays, and around this time, we want to definitely make sure that we were thinking of people that are less fortunate than us. We want to draw your attention to a great group of folks here in town called Mustard Seed. And what they're doing is they're collecting food and meals for those less fortunate on Thanksgiving.
Nice of
and
them.
you are a part of this. I am a part of this, and we want to encourage everybody to be a part of this. You can bring stuff down to City Hall. I know Mayor Mazzarella has it on his Facebook page. Everybody is pimping the hell out of it, trying to help, and that's what we do, folks. It's the old saying: if a lot of people do a little bit, then a lot gets done. You have a lot of people come together, and everybody does a little bit. You don't have to do a lot. You don't have to overextend yourself, but just chip away at it.
Yep.
Chip away at it with the next guy, and together we can make something really special happen.
Yep.
And you can too. You can find Mustard Seed on Facebook. Find out more about them. You can email them at fromamustardseed@gmail.com. We definitely want to encourage everybody to do that. Now, as you notice, Shannon, we are flying the French colors behind us as we broadcast tonight.
Yeah, I did notice that.
We are going to get into that and a whole lot more right on the other side of the break. Stick around. You're watching Up for Discussion Live.
Up for Discussion Live is brought to you in part by Lemonster Storage Solutions, Sasquatch Coffee, Mariano's Restaurante.
Ay, 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 ay. I am the Frito Bandito. I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you.
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch?
Sure.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Mamma mia, that's some beast. Cut. Spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry.
Take 28.
Out, Tony. And action. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Cut. What was the matter with that? The accent. Huh. Cut. Cut. Micey, micey, ballsy, ballsy. Cut.
Take 59.
And action.
Sometimes you eat more than you should. And when it's spicy besides, Mamma Mia, do you need Alka-Seltzer?
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl. And when you do, we gotcha.
I love football, and I love relaxing. Because for me, relaxing always includes Skoal, the smokeless tobacco. Just a pinch between my cheek and gum gives me great tobacco taste without lighting up. Got the sea, the breeze, got my Skoal. Nothing's gonna make me move. Think I'll play some touch. Skoal, brother.
Bert, what do you say to Martini and Rossi?
Yes. Yes. To Martini and Rossi on the rocks. Say yes.
Yeah.
Let Moxie Marco in your face. So the face girl won't.
Butter.
What was that?
Butter.
Parquet margarine.
Butter.
No, parquet. It says right on your lid, parquet margarine.
Butter.
Parquet. Smooth, delicious. Butter.
Parquet.
But surely, Starkist don't want tunas with good taste. Starkist wants tunas that taste good.
That's for me.
Sorry, Charlie.
You can't get away with the crunch, because the crunch always gives you away.
Get Quake.
Crisp is better.
Fellas, why not leave it to the kids out there? Take sides with either Quake or Quisp.
Oh, Quake.
Or Quisp. 2 new cereals from Quaker.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not gonna try it. You try it. I'm not gonna try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't need it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Anticipation. 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Say that again.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, onions, pickles, onions.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
McDonald's Big Mac. The great big sandwich with a great big taste.
Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
When you're laughing and smiling and shooting the breeze, when you wanna let loose and be as free as you please, let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut.
9 Lives presents Morris.
The castle's almost finished, Your Majesty.
Good. Reserve the dungeon for yourself.
Hey everyone, this is Scott Rockenfield from Queensrÿche, and you're watching Terror Rock TV.
Shannon, I used to love Quisp. You don't remember Quisp?
What the heck is it?
It was the coolest
Quisp?
cereal. Oh, it was so cool.
That's a cereal?
Yeah. It was
Quisp?
really, Quisp.
What is it?
Quisp. It was kind of a light, fluffy cereal, kind of like in the shape of a farfalle, like an Italian noodle, like a half shell.
Farfalle looks like a bow tie.
Oh, not that then. What's the one that has like a little shell, tiny shell? Not big shell, but tiny shell. Little tiny
shells,
shell.
yeah.
All right. Well, they look like little shells.
Cereal looked like that?
Yeah, they were great. They're fantastic.
Oh my God! Wait.
I can't believe you don't remember Quisp.
Was it full of air when you bite into it?
Yeah, it was.
And
full
then
of air.
you can't describe the flavor, right? It was just weird.
It was kind of sugar coated sugar. You know, like we talk about. It was good.
Oh my God, I don't know.
You didn't.
I think I did have it, but
you definitely didn't have to put sugar on it. That's for sure.
No,
it was sugary enough to
I
say.
can't describe the flavor of it. It was just kind of different.
Yeah, it almost tasted like Captain Crunch. Right?
How did you spell it?
Quisp.
Quisp, just like it sounds.
Yeah.
Well, why did they stop making it?
Why did they? I don't know. Maybe they didn't sell enough of it. I don't know. I give up. I don't know.
Maybe we can find an old box of it somewhere. We can eat it.
That'd be so cool.
I'll have to Google that.
So
Quisp
cool.
cereal.
I love Life cereal.
Where to buy? Apparently, some other people have been Googling this as well.
Looks like Old Hip is going to sue Life cereal for mental
Yeah, you can buy it.
You can?
Yeah,
You can still get
they
Crisp?
sell it at Jet.com and Walmart.com. And
Really?
Is this this the picture?
Yeah, that's it. That's
like
it.
It was an aqua-colored box with a cartoon character?
Yeah, that's it.
Quisp
That's it.
cereal, $5.89. It's made by
Oh
Quaker.
my God, what a ripoff! But we'll take it. Wow.
I'll have to get you some for Christmas.
Unless you've lived under a rock this week, I'm sure you are aware why we are flying the French flag. And of course, we are talking about the terrorist attacks that have been going on there. Very, very sad situation. And we want to not only bring light to it, but also discuss it in detail as a lot of stuff is going on. And now, Shannon, here's what we know. A Renault Alliance car with Belgian plates, syringes in a hotel room, and a cell phone containing a chilling message were among the focuses on Tuesday in the sweeping and multinational investigation of this week's terror attacks in Paris that killed 129 people. French president said that his country is at war after 3 teams of gun-wielding ISIS suicide bombers hit 6 busy locations. His military backed up the statement by pounding ISIS targets in Syria with airstrikes, Russia also launched airstrikes and cruise missiles there as well. Investigators in Paris have recovered multiple cell phones at the scene of the attacks, believed to belong to the attackers, a possible big break that could help them unravel the plot and the suspected network behind it. Counterterrorism and intelligence officials told CNN that, according to officials, at least one phone contained a message sent sometime before the attacks began, and to the effect of okay, we are ready. Police are now issuing a photo asking for the public's help in identifying a suicide bomber from the attacks in France. Police found an emergency passport or similar document identifying him as 25-year-old Syrian using the name Ahmad Mohammed. Authorities believe the name is fake. A police spokesman said the man in the picture is not French, and they do not know whether he is from Syria. So there's a lot of crap going on in the world, and now ISIS is claiming responsibility for this. And here we go again, folks. Absolute zero regard for human life at all.
None.
We have these, you can only describe them as animals, absolute animals that just have no regard for human life. And if they're trying to prove something, if they have something that they stand behind, it's lost. It's lost because nobody wants to hear it. And I don't understand, what they can do as far as social media. These guys, Shannon, are so active on social media with recruiting. They have sleeper cells everywhere, it seems.
It's disgusting. I mean, you're right. They have no regard for human life whatsoever. And they're doing that on purpose just to get a rise out of people.
It's everywhere.
They have no soul. And for them to say that they're doing this for Allah, unbelievable. But not all Muslims are supporting this, Jeff. It's a very, very segregated group, and a lot of Muslim people are very disgusted by their actions as well.
Well, it makes
this isn't what they all believe in.
It makes it very tough. It makes it very tough because, not only now can you not go to a soccer stadium with your family, you can't go to a restaurant. It's hard to go to movie theaters. It's hard to go to any big cities because now, these are people that have been integrated in our society for many, many years. They live here. They live here among us for 5-10 years at a time, and you get to know these people, and then all of a sudden they wake up these sleeper cells, and off we go. All of a sudden the switch is flipped, and they're part of the plan now that is an awakened sleeper cell, and their main mission is to destroy life and democracy as we know it. And it's a very, very scary and sad state of affairs, Shannon, when these people that have lived among us, they could be anybody we know.
It could be, absolutely. Well, we just don't know anybody that looks like that and talks like that, though.
But I mean,
in
all seriousness, Shannon, if you think about it, there are people living here among us, and they don't necessarily now have to be of Muslim descent. There are people that are part of this extremist movement that are getting into this.
Well, so no, if any of our friends go out of the country or family, we have to be leery. Where did you really go? I want to see pictures. I want to check in. I want to see your check-ins on Facebook.
Well,
Make sure they didn't go anywhere in the Middle
Does
East.
this concern you at all?
Of course it does. But you know what, though? Unfortunately, some humans can't live every minute of their life in panic and fear. That's what they want, and I refuse to do that.
But
it's what they want.
We are now in the age where you have to define, a fine line between fear and being vigilant. And being aware of your
I'm vigilant
surroundings.
of just somebody from Leominster slicing my throat on the way to my car. I mean, that could happen easily. More likely in Fitchburg, but I mean, you got to be vigilant no matter what you do. Christmas shopping, I have to hold my key walking to the car, so if someone attacks me, I can just go. I mean, no, there's always safety precautions, but you have to carry on with your lives. You have to go to work. You got to do your relaxation. I mean, yeah, it just sucks. We live in a time where we aren't safe anymore.
And for those in Fitchburg, send hate mail to Shannon at upfordiscussionlive.com. We are not picking on you, Fitchburg. We have lots of loyal listeners in Fitchburg as well.
I was born in Fitchburg for like 1
one
day.
But I know what you mean. The problem that I have is, and the thing that has now heightened my awareness, if you will, and folks, if you're not paying attention to this, then shame on you. But these are now folks that are living among us. I remember back to 9/11 and before, their idea was to gut us from the inside, to live among us, and to awake these sleeper cells that could attack us at any given time. And the thing that really, really makes me aware right now is that they're going after what we call now these soft targets. It's not, government buildings anymore. It's not the Pentagon. It's not the president. It's things with everyday people, that they just want to do to enjoy their lives, that are not necessarily involved in the military, not part of this whole, worldwide crisis that we have. Just innocent people with families that are trying to live their lives, going to the movies, going to a stadium for a sporting event. Shannon, nobody's safe anymore.
It's true. And unfortunately, what can you and I do about it? What can we do about it besides talk about it on a radio show? What can we do?
Well, what we can do is be more vigilant as Americans, and unfortunately, we have to understand that we live in a different age. You have to exercise a little bit of scrutiny. Unfortunately, you can't call it prejudice anymore. You have to call it just being smart. Yeah. Because unfortunately, it's almost going to get to the point where we're guilty until proven innocent. And if you like life as you know it like I do, I'm not so willing to go to a big city and start befriending people I don't know, especially people that might be attached to something like that show any signs of it. I'd be so leery now of extending myself like that you have to think twice. And unfortunately, it's not a case where you're being mean or you're being judgmental or you're being stereotypical. I think it's a case where you just have to be vigilant and be much more aware of these things than ever before in human society.
Yeah, you never know when it's going to hit your town again or at all. I mean, you just never know.
Well,
all you can do is just, if you see something suspicious, you can call the police and hope that they come.
Well, what do you call suspicious? I mean, you talk about people's behavior, you talk about things that are going on in your community. These things come out of absolutely nowhere. And, it might be tough to say, but you have to kind of nip these things at the bud. I think you have to look at the situation and what's going on in the world today, and you have to stand up and say, okay, who's standing for what? And if you do, we want to make sure that we're taking care of our own here in the country. And it's not such a bad idea, to be a little bit more, I guess, have a little bit more scrutiny with who you're letting into this country. And now we're talking about letting hundreds of thousands of refugees from Syria into this country. And Shannon, I want to put up an interesting thing here.
We can't do it.
Right there is a map that shows Syrian refugees already in the United States. And you and I can talk all day long about all these governors that have gone on the news and said, we're not going to allow this in our state. We're just flat out going to deny this in our state. They are in Massachusetts. And unfortunately, the federal law in Obama overrides all this stuff. And what he says, quite frankly, is that, well, you can say that, but what I have to say is going to happen because you guys can't override it. And we're going to send Syrian refugees.
So we can put up refugees in hotel rooms and pay for these people that have never stepped foot in this country, and we can't even take care of the ones we have. That just royally pisses me off.
Well, that's definitely one aspect of it. If there is one refugee in this country from a country, from another country like that, especially a country that is, I guess, responsible. You can't say it any other way, but the country is partially responsible for terrorism. And yet we have veterans on the streets of this country that are homeless, that are struggling, that are dying in this country because we can't find the means to support them. Awesome. But we'll bring these people from halfway across the world when, half of their neighborhood is bombing us and trying to kill us, but we can't take care of our own. Now, the other part of that whole thing, Shannon, is that these guys are using this as a Trojan horse. And there's no doubt about it. There are people that are going to come into this country under this pretense of being refugees, and they are going to be here with no other desire than to bring terrorism and bloodshed and death to American people and democracy as we know it.
Well, Nathan in the chat room is saying that they're screened before coming in and take at least a year before they're cleared to do so. But Nathan, if that's a year to do so, why are they here now? This isn't a year ago.
I would love to believe that, just like I would love to believe that TSA is doing a good job. We hear about all of TSA and all the money they spend and all the people they train and everybody's put in place and everything's so secure and we've upped security to a red level. Bullshit, folks. We just did a test with TSA and they failed 98% of the time. People walking in with bombs in their bags and guns in their bags. It is not working, guys. We have to absolutely open our eyes to see that this is not working. And I'm sorry, but a heightened sense of vigilance has to be the cause nowadays, and not just judged as stereotypical, Shannon.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
All right. Now, both the FBI and the local police are investigating a break-in at a local armory here in Worcester. Now, if you think this is a coincidence, this kind of makes me nervous, too. A local armory was broken into here in Worcester, the Lincoln Stoddard Armed Reserve Center on Lake Avenue. The break-in does not seem to be tied to any terrorism, according to officials. Really?
All right. So what's the update on that story? Because I wasn't able to find anything on it.
Well,
all the updates on that story from 2 days ago.
The updates include missing weapons were taken, and the missing weapons include automatic weapons.
No, I mean update.
What do you mean
Not
update?
the story. I want an update. Like, did they find anything at all yet?
No, they haven't found no crap. They're just telling us that it has nothing to do with terrorism, and it's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, there's automatic weapons missing in Worcester County that nobody can account for by people we have no idea who did it. And this is in the midst of all these terrorist attacks. Yeah. I don't find it to be coincidence. Do you?
I do.
You think so?
It's pretty ballsy to break into an armory, though. I mean, isn't there a security guard there? I mean, who breaks into an armory?
Well,
it's in the hands of the FBI, so we're never going to hear anything again. But they're saying that it's not terrorism.
Not only did they break in, but they were successful in stealing a bunch of automatic weapons and things that could wreak havoc in society. I mean, why would they do that? You think about why somebody would have, the audacity or the plan to do that. I mean, there's plenty of guns, Shannon. I hate to tell you, there's plenty of guns in the black market that you can go downtown to Worcester and buy. Why would somebody want to break into the armory to steal this caliber weapon? Is what's really, the situation at hand here.
I'm just reading the news stories.
What do you got?
They don't have an exact count on the weapons that were stolen. They don't have a count. They're not even sure. Well, they just said that the weapons were taken sometime Saturday night, but they don't know the weapon type or the amount missing.
Oh, no, they are sure that there was a bunch of automatic weapons.
This is UPI, so
okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, to me, it's something that we should all pay attention to, because any aggression like that is not part of, the peace and tranquility that we want in our little town. And we talk about it happening in New York City. We talk about it happening in L.A. We talk about it happening across the world. But, folks, what happens when it comes to a small town? Yeah. What happens when, these soft targets become something that's in the news every single day? So, it's time to keep our eyes open. It's time to, realize that, like 9/11, this is quickly becoming a different world and a different society. We definitely want to take a minute to bow our heads and send prayers and love and thoughts to all of the families affected by those tragedies in France. And we certainly want to hope that there can be some resolution to this, and that the governments can come together. We sit here with Putin and everybody across the world that we're pissed off at for one reason or another. But when it all comes down to it, we are one race, we are one people, and we should stand together like that against the evil that wants to just threaten humanity as we know it. And we certainly want to make sure that that we stand together as one people that love our neighbors and not want to bring harm to each other. And what kind of person, for what cause or another, is so attractive through a website or through any recruitment that can be better than just loving your neighbor and doing the best you can for him instead of just destroying him? And that's the problem with what we have going on. ISIS is nothing about humanity at all. It's all about destruction. It's all about death. It's all about, bringing the end to times. And I'm sorry, folks, but that should scare the hell out of you like it does me. And we hope that you guys have enjoyed the show tonight. We're definitely out of time. We want to thank everybody for joining us and for putting your 2 cents in as well. We want to remind you guys to follow us on YouTube. You can search out all of the shows here on the PTV Webcast Network, and also follow us on Facebook on Up for Discussion Live. On behalf of my host, Shannon Sylvia, and myself and all of the crew here, we want to thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.